I need an ally. Avert was respected by her own kind to fight at our side against ours. That could make all the difference.
She's not gonna trust you.
Angel is in the dark.
And here I am.
Hey guys, Pete here. This will be my short preview video for the Expanse Season 6 Episode 5. It's titled Why We Fight, and it pains me to say that it is the penultimate episode of the final season. We are almost at the finish line. I've got an episode description and 2 short teasers to discuss, and I'll take a closer look at last week's X-Ray episode that featured Clarissa Mao and was titled Night Watch. I'll be getting into all of that right after this quick spoiler warning. If any of the stuff I just mentioned sounded like spoilers to you, then this is your chance to leave. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. The X-Ray bonus for episode 4 opens with another reference to One Ship. It says the doctrine of One Ship arose from paradoxes: the cold of space and the heat of the drive, bright stars and pure darkness, companionship in the void. Clarissa has the watch while everyone's asleep, and since the ship mostly flies itself in this situation, as Holden told her, there isn't much to do. She pulls up the maintenance schedule and heads to the reactor room before making her way to the galley for some heavily salted food. Her hand terminal chimes and she gets a notification to find out from a news feed that her father died in prison. It says the cause of death was an underlying medical condition, and when they talk about his family, they say that his daughters Julie and Clarissa predeceased him, which means the official story is that she died at the pit when the rocks hit Earth. As she's taking the news in, she activates her mods and crushes her hand terminal. It cuts to black there, and when it comes back, she's on the floor in the aftermath of her freakout. She comes to and grabs the nub that was her hand terminal, which is no longer very useful, and then opens her personal journal through the Rossi's voice system. She says that the doctor in the pit told her that the parent-child relationship is primal, and that it doesn't have to make sense. It's just baked into the kind of primates we are, that you always care about your parents. Clarissa didn't believe it, but now she's feeling the weight of this loss. She thinks, why am I angry? Why am I angry now? You didn't die to hurt my feelings. I was never going to see you again anyway. Why does it even matter? I wish you were a better man. I wish you were a better father. I wish you loved me. I wish I hadn't loved you. I thought this was a great solo scene for the Clarissa character. Nadine Nicole did a fantastic job, and the character does get some closure here, which never happened in the books. The presumption was that Jules Pierre Mao would die in prison, but as she references here, there was never any contact or really any communication between them, and you had the idea that he would have thought she was dead. It seems fitting to provide an end for this character who was so important in the first 2 seasons. So another solid entry in the One Ship series, Clarissa confronting her family issues. I thought the use of the internal cameras was a nice touch. It added to the feel of life on a ship hurling through the vast emptiness of the void. And it was an interesting take on how life continues to go on even in times of war. I'm looking forward to the last 2. The episode 5 description for Why We Fight reads, paths converge on Ceres when Drummer and her fleet arrive to aid the relief effort. Holden tries to convince Avasarala to release crucial information that might avert catastrophe, but she has her own request of him. As Amos and Bobbie get a little R&R at the station, Naomi has a difficult and long-awaited reunion. I guess it wasn't a big jump to put together that Drummer might take her pirate booty over to Ceres to help the people out there. That certainly sounds like what this description is saying, and it also confirms that Holden and the Rossi have made it there as well. It looks as though everyone will be on Ceres for the 5th episode. The 2 teasers this week are sort of 2 halves of the setup for a big meeting on Ceres. Last week in the X-Ray photos section, they accidentally uploaded a scene from episode 5, the scene that we see coming together in these teasers. I imagine a lot of people noticed that when they were in there watching the Night Watch episode. The teasers show us how that comes together. We see Holden on what looks like the Zenobia, and Avasarala tells him that she needs an ally, a belter who is respected by her own kind to fight at their side against Inaros. That could make all the difference, and she's right. Drummer just made a dramatic speech in the last episode calling Marco out. She's respected by belters for sure, and strategically this would be amazingly helpful for the United Fleet. Holden brings up the big problem though. Drummer has no love for the Free Navy. She's actively trying to undermine their power. But there's still a big difference in going against them independently as a belter for belters and fighting on the side of the inners. It's night and day as far as what the reaction of her people would be. It's a very tricky situation. Plus, she doesn't have a good reason to trust the UN, the MCRN, or Avasarala personally. There is a long history of reasons why she wouldn't want to. As viewers, we like the character Avasarala because she's fun to watch and she's competent and she's really interesting. But to belters, she is the face of the oppressor. She embodies generations worth of exploitation and abuse. We know that the Secretary General came a long way from her Earth Must Come First days when she was hanging belters on hooks in the first season, but I think Monica did a pretty good job in the last episode of pointing out that she's still a work in progress. And besides that, like I said, she is the symbol of the inner planets. Not many belters would be fans. The second teaser shows us that they will be coming together for a public meeting, which just sort of drips with everything you love about the Expanse in one place. And I think the "and here I am" as an introduction makes for a great opening to the negotiations. This is something to look forward to. Early in the season, I was thinking it was kind of an odd choice to have the acting Secretary General so close to the action. There just seems like there are a lot of different ways things could go wrong with that. But if it were all in service of these two meeting face to face in the middle of Ceres in front of a crowd, then I'm okay with it. There's also some action at the ring gate slipped in there for good measure. Admiral Carino had to go ahead from MCRN Command to make their way out to the ring gate and cause problems for the Free Navy. You can't really make out what's happening in the bit they show here, but she was confident that their stealth ships would be able to take out the sentry ships, and we do see something getting blown up. That's all there really is in the teasers. I don't see anything that connects to the line in the description about Holden trying to get Avasarala to release something that might avert catastrophe, so I'll stay away from that and focus instead on the idea of Bobbie and Amos on Ceres Station looking for R&R. That seems like a good place to leave things. I had to move the live stream back one day this week, so if you're watching this video before 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, January the 4th, make sure you tune into that for a deep dive discussion on episode 4. Those give me a chance to take a much closer look at the interesting bits that I don't get around to in the episode recaps. They've been a lot of fun. It's also a chance to answer some questions and get a conversation going, so come and check it out if you're around. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Clarissa's mini episode, what you thought about these teasers, and what you're hoping to see in episode 5. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.